So I think it's really important to celebrate the achievements of companies through awards and schemes like that, because it really changes and raises the standard. You know, we started off with sustainability, just kind of nibbling around the edges. I think people are doing a great deal more now. And what you hope is that with each year, when you see what other companies can attain, it inspires others to go even further. And let's face it, we've got to go further faster. Well, the issue with technology that makes it problematic is something we call the tech paradox. You know, bearing in mind I used to run tech companies, which is that the skills you outsource to technology, you lose in yourself. You know, I don't know my kids' phone numbers. I've outsourced that to my phone. I'm kind of okay with that. I'm really not okay with outsourcing human communication. If we're going to change anything in the world, it's going to be through communication. And I'm seriously concerned that actually our ability to do that grows more constrained every day. You know, whenever we let other people speak for us, other technologies write for us, other technologies tell us what words to use next, that strips us of the capacity to think for ourselves. And boy, if sustainability is about anything, it's about thinking for ourselves about better choices. I think people continue to ignore the impact, the seriousness of climate change, although all the evidence shows that they understand it, that they know that it's man-made, and they know what it portends. Partly because they're being misled by government, honestly. Partly because I have to say many corporations and indeed government people don't understand that it's a different problem. Lots of problems you can just save yourself at the last minute. This is a really, really difficult timing problem. We have to save ourselves ahead of the last minute, because the last minute will not be a moment when we can pull out all the stops. So it's partly that it's a different kind of problem that most people have never encountered in their lives. It's also that most people don't like having conflict, so we don't want to have the arguments at work, at home, in our communities. It's partly that people are quite conformist, so they'll conform to whatever the standard is. So everybody's great at recycling. Nobody really wants to point out that recycling is really the very smallest part of the problem, really. And to be honest, I think people are being quite disingenuous about the amount of sacrifice that's going to be required. I mean, imagine saying on the eve of the Second World War, it's all going to be a ton of fun. You know, it would have been absurd. And I think we have an awful lot of corporate leaders and government leaders absolutely failing to be straightforward, that if we're going to save our home for our children, we're going to have to give some stuff up. And I think it's a lack of courage. It's certainly a lack of purpose. And I think everybody kind of knows it's wrong, but very few people are prepared to acknowledge what it's really going to take.